Welcome to the channel. My name is Jason. I'm your cooking coach, helping you become a better and more efficient cook in the kitchen. To kick off our knife skills series, we are going to be talking about the proper way to hold your knife and the food you're slicing, how to set up your cutting station, and a couple other techniques for overall knife safety while you're working. That's our agenda for today, so let's jump in the kitchen and get after it. Now we're ready to set up our cutting station. The first thing we're going to do is talk about keeping your board secured on your counter. You may notice that your cutting board likes to slide around on your counter when you're trying to work, so there's a very simple solution to this. We're just going to use a damp kitchen towel or paper towel if you need to. Lay that down on your counter first, and your cutting board goes right on top. That damp towel provides extra friction between the board and the counter, meaning your cutting board won't slide around as much, and it's much more secure for you to work on. Now let's talk about the right way to hold our knife. In professional kitchens, we never hold our knife with just a hammer grip like this. You don't have good range of motion with your wrist. You don't really have a lot of flexibility. This is not an ideal grip. We use what we call a key pinch grip. To find this, place your thumb on the blade of your knife and your index finger directly opposite on the other side of the blade. So my partner, who is a doctor of physical therapy, has just informed me that this is called a key pinch grip simply because it's the same pinch grip we use to turn a key in a door lock. Fun fact, today I learned. With this grip, you can actually hold the knife with just that pinch grip, and we'll just wrap our fingers around the handle like this. Using this grip, we have better range of motion with our wrist and more flexibility for our cutting. This is the grip that we use in professional kitchens. It will feel a little strange at first. Keep practicing this. This will unlock a lot of potential with your knife skills. Now that we have our key pinch grip established, let's talk about how to hold food safely with your offhand. We don't want to hold food flat on the board with an open hand like this, because then our fingers are directly in the way of our knife blade, and that is a great way to lose a finger. What we need to do is take our fingertips out of the line of fire from our knife, and the best way to do that is to tuck them underneath your palm like this. So the way I train new cooks in kitchens is to think about holding a baby bird in your palm. You don't want that baby bird to fly away or to fall out of your palm, but you also don't want to hurt it. So use gentle pressure and form sort of a cage with your fingers, and then simply turn your hand right side up on top of your food. So we'll use a celery stalk for an example. Instead of holding the celery stalk like this when we're cutting and trying to cut into the celery stalk, we'll hit our fingers. But if we use that claw grip with the gentle pressure upside down, our fingertips are actually out of the way, and we can safely cut into the celery knowing we can't actually cut our hand. So from the side, you can see my fingertips are directly under my hand, and I'm actually just sliding my knife along this part of my finger right here. So my fingertips are completely under my knuckles. The worst I could ever do with this grip is shave a little bit of skin off my knuckle, which is not fun, but it's definitely better than losing a finger. So to practice this grip, we'll use a simple push cut. We'll use our key pinch grip. We'll use our good safe grip on our food. We'll start with the tip of our knife on the board, and we'll simply push down and through. And my knife is actually running against this part of my finger. I'm actually in contact with my hand. So start with the tip on the board, push down and through, slide this hand back, reset, down and through, pull back, reset, down and through. And we can dictate the thickness of the slice of the celery just by how far back we're scooting our hand. So we can get really consistent slices by moving our hand the same distance back the celery each time we go to make a cut. I'll show you that again. So we can get anything from very thin translucent slices all the way to thicker pieces just by moving our finger back a bit more on the stalk of celery. Once you're comfortable with this motion, with this safe grip, the key pinch grip on the knife, the tip on the board pushing down and through, we can begin speeding up a bit. Instead of pulling the knife off the board to reset after each slice, instead keep the tip of the knife on the board, and as you push through, simply keep the tip on the board, pull back, and reset this way. Because we have that key pinch grip and we have good range of motion in our wrist, we can begin to establish almost a wave-like motion with our hand. This will make cutting and prepping very simple, and also it's kind of therapeutic. It's a nice, easy motion. It's easy to get into a rhythm this way, and you'll have good, safe, consistent cutting. So that looks a bit like this. I'm just slowly and carefully sliding my grip hand backwards as I'm slicing and resetting, but I'm in no danger of cutting myself because my fingertips are never underneath the knife. They're always tucked safely away, and my knife is not actually going high enough on my hand to cut into this knuckle. I'm only sliding along here. So with this motion, with a lot of practice, you can end up doing this quite quickly and very safely. This will feel very strange at first to keep your fingertips underneath your palm and to hold your knife instead of in this hammer grip, in this key pinch grip. I promise it does feel strange at first, but after a couple days of practicing this, it will feel like second nature, and it's far more safe to do it this way. So go as slow as you need to when you're learning. Get really comfortable with this grip. And once you have the technique down and you're being quite safe, it's easier to pick up the pace, and you'll be slicing and chopping in no time. Now that we have a bit of foundation using our key pinch grip and our safe offhand, let's talk about how to move around a kitchen safely with knives. Now, if you're cooking by yourself, this tip may not apply to you, but it's still good to understand the rules. That way, when you're cooking with family or friends, or you have a hot date, you're not accidentally running around the kitchen with a knife in an unsafe way. So when someone else is in the kitchen with you, or if you're practicing best techniques by yourself, we always walk around the kitchen with the tip of our knife pointed down toward the floor. We never want someone to be running through the kitchen or back into you, come around a corner, and run into the tip of your knife. So always keep the tip of your knife pointed to the floor when you're moving around the kitchen. It's also best practice to let people know, if there are other people in the house or in the kitchen with you, when you are coming around a corner, when you are holding a hot pan or a pot of hot water. For the same reasons, we don't want someone to be surprised and come around the corner and bump into a hot pan or spill hot water over someone. Be very safe, communicate early, and communicate often. No injuries when we're cooking. The final tip I have for you in our first video in the Knife Skills series is about washing and cleaning your knives. Please never put your knives through your dishwasher. Wash them by hand, use a sponge, hot water, and soap. That will get any knife clean, but there is one important safety tip to this. When you are washing or drying your knives, never wash or dry them with the blade pointed into your palm. So if you're drying or washing your knife, you never want to do it this way. Instead, turn your knife over and put the spine or the back of your knife into your palm, close your sponge or your towel around it, and pull this way. If you are going the blade into your palm, as you slice, you're going to cut through the sponge or cut through the towel, and you're going to cut into your palm, and nobody wants that. So instead, turn the knife over, put the back of the knife into your palm, and sponge or towel this way. Thank you so much for joining me for this first video in our Knife Skills class. Be sure to check me out on Twitch, where I'm cooking live 3 nights a week, answering your questions and helping you become a better, more efficient cook. Thank you for checking out the video, and I will see you next time.